Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another week of yoga. Stay firm. Sending that right foot back. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to yoga. My name is Alexis Faye, and I'm so glad that you joined me today. We are going to start by laying flat on our backs, finding a little bit of a Savasana pose to start out, taking the legs in front of the body, softening down to the mat, and take a few big breaths here. Fully allowing the lungs to fill, allowing the rib cage to expand, the abdomen to fill with air, and fully letting the breath back out. Couple big breaths like this, fully filling the lungs, and letting it out again. Walk the bottoms of the feet into the body, picking the hips up off the mat, tucking them under and setting them back down, getting rid of the space in the low back. We'll heel toe the feet to the outer edges of our mat and find a little windshield wipering back and forth. Taking the knees back up to the ceiling, heel toeing the feet in line with the hips. We'll take both legs up to the ceiling. We can either hold the back of the legs to keep them here or let them float. Circling out the ankles, pointing and flexing the toes, wiggling out a little. We'll bring the left knee down to the chest, softening the right leg all the way to the floor, hugging that left knee in nice and tight. And we'll send it across the right side of our body, finding a gentle twist here, keeping both shoulder blades down on the mat. Bringing that left knee back into the body for another big hug to the chest. And we'll switch legs. Left goes long, right comes in. And then we'll take that right knee across the left side of the body. Again, a real gentle twist, keeping shoulder blades down. Bringing the right knee in for another big squeeze to the chest. We'll bring the left up as well, hugging both legs in. We can either keep the back of the head down on the mat or tuck the chin in, lifting the top of the head and curling to a ball, finding a little rocking side to side. We're going to find a little rocking forward and back to pop us up on our mat. Taking the legs out in front of the body. Giving them a nice wiggling out here. With our exhale, we'll soften forward towards the legs, putting as much bend to the knees as you'd like. little bit of breath work here. So as we inhale, extending out to a half high, flattening out the spine, taking it straight up through the top of the head. With our exhale, we'll curl towards the legs, bringing the chin to the chest. Inhale, extending out through the top of the head. Exhale to curl and soften. Inhale, curling up the body and sitting tall again. We're going to bring our left foot into the body, turning the shoulders towards our right leg, and with our exhale, softening forward. With an inhale, rolling up the spine again, sitting tall. Now we're going to turn the shoulders to face our left leg, pressing down through the right hip so the hips or the glutes stay on the mat. We're going to soften forward. And an inhale, walking the hands back into the body. Taking our right hand to the right leg. We're going to keep open towards the left side of our mat. With our exhale, sliding that right hand down along the leg. With our left hand, we can take it to the small of the back. We can keep it out in front of us. Or we can turn it back behind us, palm down towards the floor, turning the palm up and over as we reach up towards the toes. Another inhale brings us back to center. Turning forward again, we'll exchange out the legs. Left goes long out in front, right comes into the body. Turning the shoulders towards that left leg. With our exhale, we'll soften forward. Rolling up the spine, sitting tall, turning the shoulders towards our right leg. Again, pressing down with that left hip and softening forward. Inhale, lifting back up, left hand comes to the left leg. Shoulders stay open towards our right side, sliding the left arm along. Again, we can take the hand to the small of the back, keep it out in front of us, or palm down. Open the palm up towards the ceiling and come up and over the body. Inhale, lifting back up again, taking the right leg out in front of the body. We're going to kind of inchworm ourselves forward to help us roll the pelvis back a little. So we already have a little hinge to the waist starting at the hips. And with our exhale, we'll fold forward again. Ragdolling our way to seated. We're going to take the arms back behind the body. Inchworming the fingertips a little further away, fingers point away from the body. And with an inhale, we're gonna pull the shoulder blades in to kiss at our spine, opening through the front of the chest, taking the eyes up. And releasing the shoulders forward. Walking the hands back in, we'll bring the feet into a butterfly. Placing bottoms of the feet together, we can wrap the hands around the bottoms of the feet, or we can keep them on the floor, whatever feels right. Gently pressing down through the knees, sitting tall through the spine. We're going to cross the feet in front of us so we can roll past the ankles and make our way to our tabletop. Bringing wrists under shoulders, knees under hips with an inhale, taking the eyes and the tailbone up, dropping the stomach towards the mat. Exhale, arching up through the spine, tucking the chin and chest closer, moving back and forth with the breath. Coming back through center. Finding any other spinal movements that you're craving here, wiggling out the hips or barrel rolling the chest, or shifting forward and back, whatever's feeling right. And we'll come back to our tabletop again. Taking the knees to the outer edges of the mat, big toes in till they touch. Left hand moves towards center. With a nice big inhale, we'll take the right arm up towards the ceiling. And then thread it through the left side of the body, bringing the side of the face and shoulder down. Pressing down through the left hand, unthreading the right, sending it back up, and releasing it down. Inhale, left arm reaches tall. Exhale, threading it through the right side, shoulder comes down first and side of face. Pressing down through the right hand, unthreading the left, sending it back up, and releasing it down. Bringing the knees under the hips again, walking the hands one step closer or one step further away from the body. Spreading the fingertips out nice and wide, we'll tuck the toes under, sending the hips up and back behind us, down dog. Now pedaling out however you'd like here. We're going to put quite a bit of a bend to the knees. And then put even bigger of a bend to the knees. So we're really sending that tailbone back behind us like we're gonna hop to the top of the mat. And then shifting forward, maybe coming to the wrists or past the wrists and back. So sending that tailbone back behind us like we're gonna hop forward and then shifting towards our plank. Good, back to our down dog. Extending the left leg behind us. We'll circle the ankle out one way and around the other. Bending at the knee, we'll drive that knee forward and set it down between the hands, finding a pigeon pose. Walking the hands in towards the body so we can lift the chest proud. And then we'll take the arms out in front, finding a stack to our forearms and a sleeping pigeon. Walking the chest back up. We're going to drop the left hip down towards the mat and then slide the right knee up so it's kind of tucked into the arch of our left foot. So we've got some nice 90 degrees with the legs. Pressing down with our right hip. With our exhale, we're going to soften forward. And inhale to bring us back up. Taking our right hand to the outside of the left leg. Left hand circles behind us, and we'll find a little bit more of a twist. Gently turning forward again. We're going to focus on some hip flexors and some outer glutes or some smaller muscles of the glutes. With our inhale, lifting up our front leg or our left leg up off the mat and setting it back down. It may not be a whole lot of movement, and that's okay. Just focusing on lift and back down, moving at whatever pace feels right. You can take the arms back behind you to help find a little bit more movement, or stay up and really target those hip flexors. Good, setting that front leg down, resetting a little bit. Now we're going to target the outer glute. So with our right leg, the knee is going to stay down on the mat this time. And we're gonna pick up the right ankle and set it down. Again, it may not be much of a movement. We're trying to target that gluteus minimus, gluteus medius, and not the gluteus maximus. So we're not rotating to get that heel up. We're really focusing on isolating the movement. Good, setting that foot back down. We're going to shift forward, so we're putting weight over our left knee so we can extend the right behind us and circle it around. We're gonna find a stack to our knees. So your stack can be like this with your foot on the inside, or you can take it across, or you can flatten it down. Whatever's feeling good with the hips today. We're gonna flex through both feet, sitting tall. And with our exhale, soften forward, pressing down with the hips. Walking the body back in. We'll take the arms out wide, bringing the left arm in. We'll swoop the right underneath, bringing backs of hands or fronts of hands together, bringing elbows in line with shoulders and looking past the wrists. Releasing the hands, taking them out wide. And the other side, this time right arm comes in first. Left arm swoops underneath, back of hands or front of hands together. Elbows in line with shoulders. Taking the arms out wide again. We're gonna take the right leg up off our stack, circling it around behind us and lifting back to our pigeon pose. Framing out the left knee with the hands, tucking the right toes under, lifting the left knee to the chest, and back three-legged dog. Releasing the left leg down and wiggling out through the hips. Extending the right leg back behind the body. Circling the ankle out one way and around the other. Putting a bend to the knee, we'll drive the knee forward and setting it down between the hands, finding our pigeon pose again. Walking the hands in towards the body so we can lift the chest proud. And then we'll find our sleeping pigeon. Inhale, walking the body up again. We'll drop the right hip to the mat and bring the left knee in so it's tucked into the arch of our right foot, sitting tall. Turning towards our right knee. And we'll soften forward, pressing down through the left hip. Inhale, lifting up again. Taking the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Right hand goes a little further behind us. And and we'll find a little more of a twist. Circling back around. And we'll go back to targeting those hip flexors. Our right leg, picking it up off the mat and setting it back down. Again, we can take the arms back behind us or stay here. You may notice that one side was a lot easier than the other, or one side's quite a bit harder than the other, and that's okay. That happens a lot, especially in this world where we drive so much. Alright, setting that front leg down. Now targeting the outer glute on this side. Dropping the right knee, left knee to the mat is going to stay down. Lifting the left foot up off the mat and setting it down. And dropping that left heel back down, shifting forward towards the right knee so we can extend the left back behind us and circle it around, finding the stack to our knees again. Flexing through the feet, sitting tall. And pressing down through the hips as we soften forward. Inhale, walking the body back up. We'll take both arms out wide, bringing the right arm in front of the body. We'll swoop the left arm underneath, bringing back so hands are fronts of hands together, lifting the elbows so they're in line with the shoulder, and looking past the wrists. Good, releasing the hands, taking them out wide. Left hand comes in front of the body. Right arm swoops underneath. And unwrapping the arms again, taking them out wide. We're going to lift the left leg up off our stack, circling it around, lifting to a pigeon. tucking the left toes under, framing out the right knee with the hands, lifting the right knee to the chest, and back, three-legged dog. Dropping the right foot down, and we'll drop the knees to the mat, back to our tabletop. Making our way back and forth between our cat and cow some more. Resetting through the spine. Good, back to our tabletop again. Hands go one step further away from the body. Tucking the toes, sending the hips up and back behind us. Putting quite a bit of a bend to the knees. We're gonna shift forward and back some more. So really dropping that tailbone back and shifting forward. And back to our down dog. Extending the left leg behind the body and stepping it to the top of the mat. Finding a full breath in here. Even larger breath back out. Pressing down through the feet. With an inhale, we'll find a warrior one. Extending out through the front leg, dropping the back heel, shifting the hips forward again, and we'll fold. Putting the bend into the left, inhale, lifting up, warrior one, and rotating open to our warrior two. Extending out through the left leg, sending the hips back behind us, reaching out in front of the left toes, and finding a side ankle. Inhale, floating the body back up, bending into the left knee again. With an inhale, turning the front palm up to the ceiling, we'll come up and over the body, reaching behind us. Cartwheeling the arm, dropping the left elbow towards the knee, taking the right up and over the ear. We're gonna hold here for a little bit, pressing evenly through both feet. We can stay here with the left arm on our knee. We can extend it or drop it to the floor, or we can find a bind, taking that left arm down towards the floor, threading it through the leg, bringing the right arm around and interlocking the fingers or reaching towards the fingers. Inhale back to our neutral warrior 2. Extending out through the left leg. We'll pick up the left toes, wiggle them out a little bit, and then pivot them to the side of our mat. With our exhale, hinging at the waist, finding a wide-legged forward fold. This is another pose that we're going to stay in for a little while. Nodding the head, yes. Shaking the head, no. Releasing out the upper body, allowing yourself to hang. Find a shift back and forth between the feet. So we can either do this by walking the hands back and forth or by swaying back and forth. Following our motion towards our right foot, we'll circle around to a lunge. So now we're facing the back of the mat. I know I'm turned around back to the front, but that was just so you weren't looking at my backside the whole time. So now we're facing the back of our mat in a lunge, taking a full big breath in and releasing it back out, pressing down through the feet with an inhale, warrior 1. Extending out through the front leg, we'll drop the back heel down with our exhale softening forward. Inhale, lifting back up, putting the bend into the front leg and rotating open, warrior 2. Extending out through the right leg, sending the hips back behind us, reaching out in front, side angle. And an inhale back to our warrior 2. Turning the front palm up to the ceiling. Inhale up and over the body, reaching towards the back. Cartwheeling the arm forward, right elbow drops to the right knee. Left arm comes up and over past the ear. We're gonna hang out here for a little bit, so you can stay here with the elbow on the knee. You can extend, you can find that bind, whatever feels right to you. Inhale back to our warrior 2. extending out through the right leg, picking up the right toes, wiggling them out, and pivoting them to the side of the mat. Bringing heels in towards center, toes point away from the body. With our exhale, tucking the tailbone under, dropping straight down. We can stay here, or we can add our cactus arms, gently pulling the shoulder blades in together. And find a little sway side to side. Maybe finding a little bit bigger of a sway side to side, you can drop the arms down. And coming back through center, extending out through the legs, opening through the arms, lifting the chest and the eyes. And a nice big exhale, swan dives us forward to our wide-legged forward fold again. Finding our sway or our walking back and forth again. We'll follow the sway around to frame out our left foot. Full breath in, even larger breath back out. Now we should be back to the front of our mat with a big step forward. Inhale, finding a half high. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands down, we'll step back to our plank. Spreading the fingertips out nice and wide. Chaturanga to lower. Inhale to a cobra. Sending the hips up and back behind us, down dog. Putting quite a bit of a bend to the knees. We'll shift forward, back, and forward again, sending the tailbone behind us, bending, and launching forward. Dropping the knees to the mat, tabletop. Finding any spinal movements you'd like to reset. Wiggle out the hips. Or some more cat-cows. Walk the knees to the outer edges of the mat. Bring big toe in till they touch. Inhale. Right arm reaches up to the ceiling. Exhale, threading it through the left side. Shoulder comes down inside of fist. Pressing down through the left hand, unthreading the right, sending it back up and down. Inhale, left arm reaches tall and threads through the right side. Pressing down through the right, unthreading the left, back up, and releasing it down. Bringing the legs in so they touch from the knees all the way back to the big toes. So sit on the heels for a moment or two. And dropping the hips one way, circling the legs around. We'll take them out in front of the body and give the legs a nice wiggling out. With our exhale, softening forward. We'll add our breath work in again. Inhale, half high, extending. Exhale, roll and soften. Inhale, rolling the body back up. We'll take the arms overhead. And like we're moving through honey, we'll slowly set the upper body down. So we're laying flat on the mat. Reaching the fingers overhead, pointing and reaching with the toes. Circling the arms down towards the body. We'll bring the bottoms of the feet in again, lifting the hips up off the mat, tucking them forward and softening them back down, getting rid of the space in our low back. We're going to find a bridge pose. So if you'd like to grab a block or a pillow to rest on, that is always nice. Or we can just interlock our fingers behind us and sit on that, or hold still with our body floating. So we'll walk the feet a little bit closer in towards the body. With an inhale, lift the hips up off the mat, bringing the shoulders in to kiss behind us. We'll interlock the fingers, lifting the chest and the hips up, keeping the eyes straight up to the ceiling, and holding here. Or if we're sitting on a block, we can put it right underneath the glutes and soften to the block or pillow. With an exhale, slowly sliding the shoulders from underneath of us and dropping the hips back down to the floor. I'll walk the feet to the outer edges of the mat and find a windshield wipering back and forth. Bringing the knees back up to the ceiling, scooting them in to be in line with the hips. We'll take the legs back up to the ceiling, pointing and flexing, circling them all around. We'll drop the left knee to the chest for a nice big squeeze. Releasing the right leg out in front of the body. Giving that left leg a real big hug into the chest. And then we'll take that left leg across the right side of the body, finding our gentle twist. I'll bring that left leg back in for another big squeeze to the chest. And extend it long. Right comes in, big hug. Right leg goes across the left side of the body. Keeping those shoulder blades down. We'll bring that right leg back in, big hug to the chest. And bring the left in as well. Finding a little shift or a little roll side to side, massaging out the low back and the shoulders. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way to Savasana. Finding a comfortable spot for you to take a few moments of rest in. Closing the eyes, taking a big breath in through the nose. We'll release it as a sigh. 2 more big breaths in like this, in through the nose. Out as a sigh. And 1 more in through the nose. And out as a sigh. Gently bringing our attention back into the body. Oh, wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. When you feel ready, go ahead and roll to one side, and we'll take our moment of gratitude here. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today, for taking this time to refocus on body, breath, and the connection between them, for getting in some movement as well as some stillness, and for really focusing on yourself for a little bit of your day. Give yourself a nice big mental hug. And then again, when you're ready, you can make your way to seated. I'll take one hand to the mat beside us, taking the other up and over. Cartwheeling the hands, switching sides. And back to center. We'll close the eyes one last time, taking another large breath in through the nose, and releasing it out as a sigh. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It's always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go in love and light. Namaste.